From Hart High School, Dillon, Zamperin, and Kaylee Tolentino present the Hart to Hart Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Hart to Hart Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon Zamperin.
And I'm your host, Kaylee Tolentino, and today we are joined by Miss Rodriguez, an English teacher and a senior class advisor.
So welcome, Miss Rodriguez, to the Hart to Hart Podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Of course. So let's start off by telling us a little bit about you to people who might not know. Where did you grow up? Elementary school, junior high, high school, all of that good stuff.
Oh, you want the full story? Okay.
Yes.
So I actually grew up in Santa Clarita. I went to a couple different schools. Started off at Cedar Creek Elementary, and then I ended up kind of just later on. I'll skip all that. But I went to a small school called Albert Einstein Academy. It was a charter school. Closed down.
That was like over on like Old Orchard.
Yeah.
Road.
Well, that was the elementary school. The high school was over like by Scooter's Jungle, Kelly Johnson Parkway.
Okay.
I was the last graduating class, but I always knew that I wanted to be a teacher. So I ended up at Cal State Long Beach. They had a great education program. I'm actually there doing my master's while I'm teaching. I've never not been a student and a teacher. It's my third year teaching, and I've been a student every year. And Hart was where I subbed the most when I got a job subbing for the district. And I just ended up getting good reviews, and they wanted me to interview, and I got hired here, and I've loved it. It's my third year, going on my fourth.
Okay.
And I've taught 9th grade English, 11th grade, and this year I started teaching 12th. So, and I've just loved doing being senior advisor. It's fun to hang out with the seniors, get them geared up for college and life after high school. So it's super fun hanging out with everybody at the senior events that we have.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So did you go to Hart as a high schooler here?
No, but actually my mom did. My mom
really?
graduated Hart High 79. So, she graduated here. And so it was kind of a cool thing. She actually works at Golden Oak Adult School, which is in Placerita's parking lot. So when she found out that I was in the F building and I was an English teacher, she knew I wanted to be an English teacher. Yeah. She hated English. So she hates coming into my classroom. So it's really fun to be at her alma mater. She gave me she was on drill team, and she has her like megaphone thing, and it has her name painted on it. And it's
cool.
really cool. And so she gives me some of her stuff to like put in my classroom. So it's really special.
So you have a lot of like family history here in this area.
Yes. Yeah. So I even have other family members who've graduated here. And sometimes I just meet people like when I get my nails done at the salon over here, and I'll sit next to somebody who's like, "Oh, I graduated from Hart." And I'm like, "Really? What year?" And they're like, 79. I was like, "Do you know my mom?" And they end up knowing her. So it's just super cool. I mean,
that's really cool.
Santa Clarita is a small town, it's a small world. And so you always end up meeting people, and, that's why you always got to be careful how you're talking, how you're, not even just because people record everything nowadays, but just because you never know who's going to be working for you. You never know who you're going to be working for. Because like a fun story was when one of my first times teaching here, I taught for Mr. Nielsen, and then I subbed for Miss Howell, and little did I know that Talon Dochemont was in Miss Howell's class. So I never knew. When I went in for my interview, Mr. Dochemont said, "Oh yeah, Talon really liked having you as a sub." So you never know. Like I didn't know I had the principal's son, and so kind of like a little, thing. But so it's just kind of, you never know who you're gonna have.
Yeah.
So
very neat. Yeah.
And you said you've always known that you wanted to be a teacher. What like inspired you to do that? Like, it's just always been like something that you've always wanted to do?
I used to want to be a chef. So I used to, one of my family members was actually the chef at the Playboy Mansion, Hugh Hefner's chef.
Wow.
So I learned how to cook from her. She was a professional chef, and she actually won Cupcake Wars in Santa Clarita once, which was cool. But I learned how to cook from her. But my third grade teacher, and funny enough, she came to visit me right before spring break, and she got to see my classroom. She was the one who inspired me, my third grade teacher. And then from there, I wanted to teach third grade, but then I met my 11th grade English teacher, and then I wanted to teach 11th grade. Before that, I had a little part where I wanted to teach math. Kudos to my math teacher colleagues, because after pre-calc, I was like, I'm not doing this. So I decided to teach English, and best decision. So I've always kind of been somewhere in education. I eventually was like, oh, maybe I could teach culinary, but kudos to Miss Hughes. She does an awesome job.
Yeah.
So yeah, English was just kind of where I wound up, and I love it. So
That's
Yeah,
good.
very neat. And then going back to one of your roles here at Hart, it is the senior class advisor.
yes.
And I know that we're nearing the end of the year. So
Mhm.
could you give us some things that seniors might be wanting to look forward to finish out the year strong? Because I know that for some people, senioritis is kind of at an all-time high, maybe. So
Definitely, yeah.
I know that there's a ton of events that are coming up.
Ton of events, and it's one of the things where you want to make sure that you're staying on top of your work, you're staying on top of your library fines, any ticket stuff, just so that you can make sure you can participate, make sure you're showing up, that you're not getting tardies and stuff like that. Because we do have a lot of events. So we do have, apart from our Spirit Week and Senior Rally coming up, and that's May 19th to the 23rd is that Spirit Week, and then the rally on the 23rd. We do have during Senior Finals Week, okay, the 27th is going to be a Senior Award Night. That is invite only. So just something to look out for. If you're keeping your marks up and you're keeping your attendance up, you could potentially be somebody. And if there's scholarships, so many people don't apply for scholarships, but we've had a lot already on counselor sites, Google Classrooms. And there's some in the Valley that we end up posting, and Senior Awards Nights, they will give out those scholarships, announce the winners. So it's like, hey, do those scholarships, sign up for those. And when I was going into college, I signed up for a scholarship and did the essay for it. And I was like one of 13 who actually ended up doing it. Like a lot of people just think, oh, I'm not going to get it. But then only a couple people sign up and do the essay. So,
and do you know when people might get notifications about that yet, or do you not know yet?
You know what? I'm not too sure, but it'll probably be a week in advance. Like they'll give notice. Again, check your email so that
keep on top of things.
Yes.
Yeah, keep on top of that. And watch Hart TV when we have you guys. We have that extra time, so make sure you're paying attention to Hart TV. The 28th, we have Senior Sunset. So that's going to be super fun. We already have Italian ice coming. We are going to have some other food, and we're going to have some other activities, but that's 7 to 8:30 on the softball field. So it's just super fun. I mean, these are the last experiences for the seniors to come and enjoy, because when you get to my age, I say that like I'm super old, but you're going to regret not going to those things. I have a lot of family, a lot of friends who always regret not going to their prom or not going to those last activities, or just not my dad, he didn't participate in like any of his high school things, and he regrets it,
Yeah.
So, cause he sees all the stuff that, my kids are doing, my seniors are doing, and they're like, oh, I wish I did that when I was in high school. And then we have Senior Breakfast. So really excited for this year, because Senior Breakfast, this is on the 29th of May from 9 to 11. It's kind of behind the library, kind of to the side where people come in for school. We're going to have a yearbook signing happening. So we'll have markers and stuff on the tables for everybody. But we have treats that are being donated from Egg Plantation and Neighborista. So we're really doing it out. Last year, we had Chick-fil-A, which was awesome. But like we have new things this year. So it's a little different. And then grad night, May 30th. That's kind of like the kickoff. And then senior meeting. Okay. Super important. Mandatory. You got to come. That's where you get your cap and your gown. That's on the 3rd of June. Okay. And then we have, the graduation practice the morning of graduation. And then that's it. Oh, and then the 5th, that's when you pick up your diploma. But we'll get to that later. But let's cross the stage, right?
Exactly.
So a lot of fun stuff, and it goes by super quick. And I can't stress that enough. Like we have 5 weeks, and it goes by quick after spring break.
It's gonna go all so fast.
I keep a countdown. My seniors hate it, but listen, if I didn't do it, you would blink and we're already at the end.
Right.
So even though it stresses them out, they're grateful for it. So keeps them on their toes.
Yeah. And then just going back to graduation, are there any like tips that you have for seniors for anything, like to prepare for it? If I know that people can do speeches, and I know that the deadline is coming up for that in about a week or so.
So I, off the top of my head, I cannot remember, but that's another thing that's on Hart TV. But we have the graduation speech. I don't want to call it a contest, but like you got to audition for it. So we have that, and just, practicing your speech. Have your English teacher look at it and give you some feedback on it. Because there is that time limit that you have to have. So practicing, timing yourself. But I would say just with graduation, just make sure you're following the guidelines, make sure you're there on time. You got to go to the practice. That's also where you get to tell them how to pronounce your name, because you want to make sure that your name's pronounced correctly. Like this is your big moment where you get to hear your name and you finally did it and you graduated high school. So, and making sure they pronounce everything that you want them to say, right? Like I have a middle name, so they said my middle name and, everything together.
And that's also like where like where you're sitting, right?
Yeah, where you're sitting.
And then know where your family, like sorry, what family should your family should be on.
Yeah, so you can tell them kind of where to sit because it is open seating. So it's, first come, first serve. And you just get like the full run through of what's going on, where you guys are going to be waiting, where you guys are going to be kind of making a file, how to go up the stage, wear the shoes when you go to the practice, wear the shoes that you're going to wear. And for anybody who wears heels, you're not allowed to wear those like super pointy, thin heels, because we're going to be on turf and we don't want to ruin their, beautiful football field. So I think you're allowed to wear like the wedges,
like the
big, the thick
heels.
Heels. But still wear those if you're going to wear them so that you can practice walking in them. You don't want to trip. You want to make sure your robe is a good length if you have to take it in. And I would say too, for like graduating or the graduation caps, making sure it's appropriate. Like it's your last time to just follow a direction from your high school. So just don't do anything inappropriate on your cap. But I would plan that because you are getting your cap like right before graduation. I know I'm giving my seniors some time during our final day to just kind of plan out what they're going to put on it. Because it is kind of a last minute thing. So Dollar Tree, get your stuff at the Dollar Tree, 99 cents store. So Joann's is closing, go there. So but just, we have 5 weeks. Just make sure that you're following, rule. It's, I know a lot of people are adults now and it's just like, we get to just relax. We have a month left. We get to relax. It's kind of like the half full, half empty kind of mentality. Think of it instead of you have a month left of being a kid in high school. You have a month left that you have to kind of do X, Y, and Z just to get through it. And we're asking you to just put a month of your effort in to finish off. Because if you don't, it's going to feel like the 4 years were a waste. Right?
Right, yeah.
Don't make it feel like that. Push yourself, lock in, as you guys say. I'm getting all the slang from my seniors. Lock in for the last month. I mean, the progress report grade's coming out next week, and then you guys have your final report card grade that comes out at the end of the year. So just make sure you're really focusing on getting those high marks, getting through it, being here, because it's only a month left. Like we only have that month to show up. So show up and do your best.
Yeah. Wow. Very good. I feel like that's a good piece of advice.
Yeah, it really is.
I've been telling my seniors, don't think of it as I have a month left, I can just put my feet up. No, you have a month left to work your hardest. And then after that, you get to, like college, you get to make your decisions on what you're going to study. You have a little bit more of that freedom and independence. So just like one more month of none of that.
And like you said, it's like your last month of being a kid in high school.
And a lot of times we like to grow up fast. We want our independence. But like, I didn't get an Easter basket this year. And I was like, oh, so you don't love me, Mom? And she's like, no, you're 26 years old. Like, make your own Easter basket. So it's like, you're going to miss being a kid and you're going to miss being in high school. Why do you think I'm an English teacher in high school? I loved high school. So, and that's why I'm senior advisor. I want to make sure that, seniors really
get
make it
all
count.
these opportunities.
Yeah, because you grow up and you hear so many people who are like, I wish my sister, she wishes because she went to prom, but she had nobody to go with. And instead of going with her friends, and now she's friends with the same people, and they're like, we would have gone to prom with you. It's like, a lot of times it's just that fear, or that, instead of having the fear of missing out in the time, you have it like years later.
Yeah.
So just like, you don't want to regret it. So just go have fun. I have some people who are going solo, and that's great, or going with friends. Like, yeah, go enjoy the food. Camarillo is going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Although, when is this coming out?
This
should
probably,
be Monday.
like, today, or
Okay.
maybe Saturday.
I was
So,
gonna say, 'cause
hopefully it doesn't rain.
Yeah, I was gonna say 70%
Yeah.
chance, supposed to like really be in the morning,
Yeah.
but I mean, we're gonna be there at night. It could mist a little, so
Yeah.
trying to
Hopefully
figure.
not. I know
figure
that
that
we
out.
just ordered a few more heaters,
Oh, good.
so
That's good.
that
Yeah.
will be
Yeah.
that will be good. So
Yeah. So
hopefully it won't rain.
Yeah.
That's what we can hope for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So
All right. In your free time, what are some things that you like to do?
I have to laugh at this because the other day I was talking about the fact that I'm working on designing curriculum in my master's program right now with my professor. It's kind of a side project, and my students were just one particular student was just kind of looking at me, and I was like, I know, I have to get a life. I get it, But in my free time, I do like to spend a lot of time with family. I do still enjoy cooking, so a lot of the time, I live with my parents, so I like to cook them dinner. Just experiment with stuff. I loved the show Chopped when I was younger, so I always take whatever we have left in the kitchen and try to make something out of it. I do like to read. I am an English teacher. And yeah, just hang out with family, hang out with my dogs, hang out with my partner, and just, kind of really just relax because, school takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
School takes a lot out of you, especially, having a full-time job and being a student. And that's why, teaching seniors is fun because I get it firsthand. Like, I'm currently a student and I have a full-time job working with all you guys. So it's, leaving time for self-care, going to get my nails
just
done.
Think about
you know.
yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just, watching TV. Like, when do I ever get to watch TV? So it's like doing that,
Yeah.
So.
Very neat. Yeah.
And last question, what is your number one favorite thing here at Hart?
Oh, that's a good question. It's ASMR now. I have to say, I think probably the students. The students are what get me up every morning. I got to get up for my students, I'm super open with my students about the fact that, like, I have anxiety, I have depression, like, I get it. I see a therapist, every other week. And, sometimes it's hard, especially because of the stuff that I have on my plate, the second a family issue pops up, or, there's, some health stuff in my family. And so it gets hard sometimes. And I'm open with my students about that because I know that my students struggle with some of the same things. And, so I think just the students are my favorite part because they're the ones who get me out of bed, because I know that, when I see some students, they always have something to tell me about their weekend, or just, what's going on, or just, needing my support with like college and career choices. Today I had somebody ask me about how to make a resume. And so I showed them my template and everything. So it's just like being someone that my students can count on. And so the students really, even if, they tell me, Miss Helen, like, you didn't do your hair today. Oh, thanks. It's still, something that just makes me laugh. And like, it's always fun. And like today, the student brought me matcha. Like, how can I complain? They always, they know, and they definitely can see, when it's harder, on the harder days. They're always like, Miss Helen, are you okay? And I'm like, yeah, what do you mean? And, like, I think I'm good at kind of, coming into work with nothing on my plate, but then they see it and then it's like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
just that they care, and, I'm, they know that I'm a human and they treat me like one. So
That's a great answer. I love that,
thank
actually.
you.
Right. Well, that's all that we have for today. So
thank you so
much.
much.
For being on
Thank
the
you
podcast.
guys. This was so much fun. I was so nervous, but
Yeah.
you guys made
No,
it
you did
easy.
great. Yeah.
Thank
perfect.
you.
Yeah.
Of course.
Awesome.
So make sure to watch the full episode on the Hart TV YouTube channel.
Or listen in wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Kaylee Tolentino.
And I'm Dillon Zamperin, and we'll catch you on the next episode of the Hart to Hart podcast.